All right. So my topic that we're going to be discussing is safety measures for female gig workers. I think this is a big topic. I think safety is important for all gig workers, but I think as women, it is one of the big things that we have to face. So, do you think the safety measures available on the gig apps are sufficient to keep us safe?
Yes. In a way, yes. They allow you the capability that you can turn on a tracking thing. So let's say I want Kim to know where I am or, along those lines. Yeah, I do think they do. I think there's risk at any job, left, right, or center. And when we walk into certain jobs, a lot of them have to have precautions. I wouldn't say there's top-notch safety, but I feel like the precautions they put into place, like tracking and everything else, is enough for me to choose and then go forward from there. So I'll say yes for now, but I will say that there's always room for improvement.
I don't rely on the apps for my safety because I work for myself. So I don't really rely on the apps for those types of things or necessarily think that it's the app's responsibility. I think that making safe choices, working, in safe environments and at safe times and in safe neighborhoods, I think that's on me. It was definitely different with rideshare. I will say I had a different mindset when I had someone in my car, as opposed to, transporting lunch and breakfast. So I am kind of out of that mindset of thinking about safety all the time, which is something that I definitely did used to do when, I had passengers in the car. But where I'm at now, I don't put that on the apps to be responsible for my safety.
So I have so much I could say on this. I do not think the apps provide any type of safety. My first week doing rideshare, I'll say for rideshare, as far as my first week in rideshare, everything that could possibly happen other than me getting maybe robbed or stabbed happened. Where I stopped doing rideshare for a couple months. And one of the times specifically, the app actually crashed during the middle of the incident that occurred. So the rideshare company that I was taking the ride for, I don't want to give too much information, but they were of no use to me, and I'm still fighting because I had rented a Tesla then, so I knew I had maybe access to more footage as to the occurrence that happened in my vehicle with a gentleman sitting behind me and his hands and pants being in places they shouldn't, if that says enough. And cops were called. They're still trying now to get footage because, of course, at that point, it's a he said, she said. Thankfully, Tesla has some safety features. I was able to get out of the vehicle, call the police, but as far as the rideshare app I was using at the time, they provided no, they still have provided no help with the matter. So it did change a lot of how I operate and maneuver. And mind you, this happened at 7:30 at night, picking up from one of the most expensive hotels here on the beach. Somebody who was dressed in a nice suit, somebody you wouldn't perceive as being a threat per se, which ended up being a very bad situation. So my experience since then has always been very cautious. And since we aren't allowed to carry a concealed weapon, keeping my tire, what's the thing called? The
tire iron.
The lug wrench. Keeping my lug wrench in the car is about the only protection I have that's actually able to be there. But if I see a situation now where I pull up and I even get a feeling in my gut, I'm canceling it and moving on. Which is probably why I have a 27%
I'm really sorry that happened to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Lesson learned. That's only one of the experiences I had. None as bad as that. But I don't feel they provide safety or provide. Yeah, you can have somebody track the ride, but who knows what happens in between.
Right.
Well,
Nothing, so you got to be, as a female, I think you have to be very vigilant. You have to be very aware and trust your gut from minute one. If your gut's even telling you a little bit, trust your gut and delete, get out. Or if a gentleman tries to get in the seat behind me, I'll nicely and politely say, you would have more room if you sat on the passenger side. And if they don't take my cue from that, I will end the ride if they're not willing to move. Because I've had riders purposely, I'll pull up so that they're getting in my passenger side, but then they'll walk around behind me. That makes me suspect. So the minute that happens, I'll end the ride. I don't care. I'm done. I'm not taking it.
Yeah. Sorry, I want to put in my 2 cents just really quick, since Lady D and I are the only two on here that do rideshare at this time. I don't think the apps provide, at least rideshare, I don't believe they provide enough safety measures for us. It especially upsets me that the passengers can put in whatever name they want. Yes. So we don't even have their real names in the accounts.
And Chris Khalifa.
Yeah, and then with the food delivery, I don't really feel unsafe most of the time. I did have an incident the other day where the neighbor's dog really scared me, but I carry pepper spray, so I was like, well, I guess I'll mace this dog if it comes after me. But what is DoorDash going to do to protect me in that situation? It's like what Sarah says. These apps don't, I mean, what can they do? We have to kind of be responsible for our own safety and just, have our head on a swivel, be prepared, that kind of thing. Kim?
Yeah, no, I actually agree with a lot of you guys. I think there definitely is a huge difference between food delivery and rideshare. And for me, it's just making smart decisions and being responsible for myself. I just know, I don't work past a certain point in certain areas at nighttime. I take my keys with me everywhere I go, just to even drop off to someone's house. Like I feel like I'm responsible for myself and the decisions I make, and also the orders I take. And I think that's, a big part of working even later at night. So, I do think that they've, from food delivery perspective, DoorDash improved their safety this past year. Uber Eats, has like a little level of security. So I think, as a low level security, I think they've managed to put it in there. I think it's up to me to kind of take it the rest of the way.
Okay. All right, next question. Do you think it is more dangerous to drive at night versus the day?
I think there's always a different level of risk at night. I mean, I think anything can happen at any time of the day. So, don't be naive to not know that things can happen during the day than at night. But there definitely is a more security measures I follow even at night to make sure I'm even safer at night than I am in the day. I call it a heightened sense of security going into nighttime when it gets dark.
What do you think, Lady D?
I wanted to, but I was trying to give them a chance. Like I said, my experience happened in daylight, 7:30. So I have found that maybe at night, if you're in a bad neighborhood, that's when you get these trips with 5 stops. You already know that's probably no bueno. But in general, I think the same risks can happen during the day or at night. I think honestly, so I'm prepared whether it's daytime or nighttime. At nighttime, I did learn from Big Mom, Tony, I got one of the little ones for me. And I usually try to wear like an orange or fluorescent type shirt for like just people to see me, identify me. Even with food delivery, you're going around, people don't have their lights on, you're going up in somebody's yard, people are like, what are you doing? So I try to maybe more identify myself than I would during the day for that protection. But in my experience, it doesn't matter what time, what neighborhood.
I choose to not work at night anymore, mostly because I'm dangerous. I can't see. So even with my
Oh my gosh.
Seriously, I'm the dangerous one. I cannot see addresses at night. I just can't. So for me, I stay away from nighttime.
Last year, I used to do a lot more driving at night. My times I would drive is like 9 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. And I live in Montreal. So Montreal can be rowdy at night, but I've never been bothered, but it depends on the season. This might sound stupid, but we get a lot of snow here. So when I'm out at night, it's in the winter because of the snow. Nobody wants to come outside. So I feel safer. But in the summer, I don't feel that I lack feeling safe, but like I said, people are rowdy. Now I choose to make sure I'm not out at past 9 p.m. more for my son and for content. It's more of a choosing. Do I feel safer in the day? Yes, but am I bothered too much at night? Not during the winter, at least. I'd rather go out in the cold and be alone and not be bothered. Plus, between 12 and 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, there's really good tips for those that want those orders. So,
Yeah. I mean, for me, I drive 12 to 16 hours on the weekends. So I obviously am driving at night. I've just learned where to drive, like what areas in my neighborhood I feel safe. I know what places I don't want to pick people up from. We have a sports bar that will remain unnamed that I will never pick up passengers from because I've had enough experiences picking passengers up from that place that I'm like, no, not going to do it. Keep my car doors locked. Yeah. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself because we do have a question here that has to do with kind of like tips and tricks. So let me get back on topic. Kim, do you think it's dangerous to drive at night versus the day?
I think there's a different level of security at night than during the day. Like I said, I think that anything can happen at any time, whether it's day or night. I feel like I'm more cautious at night than I am during the day.
Yeah, and I think probably we should be vigilant no matter what time of day it is. All right, so do you feel uncomfortable when delivering food and it says wait in the car?
I don't. I feel more uncomfortable pulling up to a house with a big gate that I have to open to get it to the front door that I can't, and I'm tall, that I can't see over the gate. And I'm basically walking into the unknown. Wait in the car, I can put my foot on the gas so fast.
That's true. That's very true. Like you have a 2,000-pound weapon right there at your disposal. So
yeah.
I agree with Sarah. No, I've had wait in the cars before, and I feel very comfortable where I'm delivering that if I'm delivering and I'm accepting that order to that location and they're saying wait in the car, 9 out of 10 times now I've done a drop off to every location I do accept because I'm like, oh, okay, it's going there. Yeah, I'm so used to there. So I've had probably about 4 or 5 wait in the cars, and they've always been good experiences. From my experience, it's just because a lot of them either don't want you to go up to the apartment complex or they know that the parking is just really hard. So they empathize and they say, like, I'll come down, wait in the car.
Right.
Just to add to Lady D's point earlier about pulling up to inspire people to get in on the passenger side, for the wait in the car situations, I roll down my passenger window. So I don't really give people the opportunity to accept the food at the driver's side. I'm tall, so I can reach across and hand it to them. Or if I can't, I'll get out and come around the car. I don't roll down my driver's side window.
I've
So
never had any wait in the car orders except for when I did Postmates, which I guess Postmates was kind of set up on that. People met you at the car because every time you dropped something off, people were outside waiting for you. I've never had to wait in the car.
So I'm seeing this comment from Follow Keys Tracks. She says, more uncomfortable delivering alcohol to possibly already drunk people and having to get a signature. We don't have that as an option here in Colorado. Do any of you ladies deliver alcohol?
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
New Jersey just started like maybe about a month or two ago, so it's something new here. So I personally haven't done one yet.
Do you feel uncomfortable, the ones that have done it? Do you feel uncomfortable delivering alcohol or no?
No.
I mean, I've had a couple of weird situations, but I think they would have been weird alcohol or not alcohol. It was just the customer was
Just weird.
Yeah. I have had the only problems that I have with the alcohol deliveries are people trying to show an ID that doesn't belong to them, in my opinion. I've never had a safety issue for alcohol. I've only had an identification issue for alcohol.
That's when they want it the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had that. I don't know. I've never felt like awkward. The other thing I really hate is with Uber. They turn around and say, "Okay, you validated their date of birth, their ID. What's their date of birth?" It's like, I look for the year. I'm not looking for the date and the month, Uber, and they make me put in the whole thing. And so it's like it is a little bit. It's not that it's not the customer. It's the wait process for Uber. Scan, waiting, take a picture. One moment. Okay, one moment, please. You're waiting. What's their date of birth? Well, by the time you're done, I don't even remember. So that's the only thing that really bugs me. It's just their process, but it's not the clients. I mean, I don't mind taking their bottle of wine back home if they're too tipsy or take it back to the restaurant. It's like, you've had enough anyways.
I've never had any bad experiences per se with the actual alcohol delivery. I did have a Rideshare ride pop up, and when I got there, the lady said, "I'm disabled. Can you come to the door?" I went to the door. She had a walker, and she wanted me to go to the liquor store for her. Offered me $100 to just go to the liquor store, get her wine. I was like, I can't do that. Because of the
Sergio's like, why not?
Hey, I would finish that delivery, whatever. All right, sweetheart, what do you need?
I hear you, but it was when I started off. It was that first week, and I felt like, is this a setup?
Oh yeah,
Wait, she was hammered. This lady was hammered. She could barely walk. She had a walker, and I felt like this no. And
that's good. She won't remember you that way.
I was waiting for him to say something. I was like, Sergio's down for that.
Oh my gosh.
Believe me, I thought about it, but I think I did the right thing because she was barely able to, like, she could have really hurt herself. And she's like, oh, they do it all the time. And I'm like, I can't. And then she started throwing things at me. So, she was an old lady, though. I wasn't really scared per se, but that's the only situation I've ever had that was bad. Other than that,
do the right thing tips from Lady D.
Yeah. I mean, I'm with her. I'm not going, if alcohol delivery ever becomes a thing here or marijuana delivery ever becomes a thing here, I won't do it because I don't want the liability on myself.
Oh yeah, cannabis? Oh yeah, that's even better tips. Yes.
No, I just won't do it. Probably because of the kids that I'm responsible for. I just don't want that liability falling on me. It's the same reason why I won't do rides for unaccompanied minors, and I refuse to take you if you don't have a car seat for your kids. I just won't do it.
That. Yeah.
Because I don't want the liability.
I mean, with alcohol, I don't think anybody realizes you take on the same risk as if you were a bartender. So if you serve somebody that was already intoxicated and say they leave that house and walk out just down the street and they get hit by a car because they were too intoxicated and you were the last one to give them alcohol, in the state of Florida, you become legally liable for that. So there, you go to jail, you could be sued. There's a lot of legal ramifications, and that part's not worth it for me. It's $100, but the other.
I'm just gonna say what I agree with Simon. But I'm always the troublemaker. It's nothing new. So
For a C note, I may even take my shirt off. So I don't.
I got 100.
Well, no, not here. But maybe. I'm joining Chris. I'm joining. What is that? Members only.
you mean OnlyFans? OnlyFans?
Lady D, you never turn down a C note. Let me tell you something.
You want to be your cuddler.
Gosh.
I'm just saying.
On,
Anyway,
Lady D. You
girls
know
go
I
ahead.
drink a gallon of Jack Daniels every day. I just needed to get my fix, and you want to get it for me?
Now we got some promotion from Chris.
Oh my gosh.
Simon, look what you started.
Hilarious. Okay, all right, let's rein it back in. On a more serious note, what is one tip you have to keep yourself safe while delivering food or doing rideshare?
Lock your doors.
I say take your keys with you every single time.
I have to. If I'm locking my doors, I have to take the key.
Well, do you keep your doors locked while you're in the car as well as out of the car, or
Voila. Out, in. As soon as I get in, lock. As soon as I get out, lock. And it's also because I have gear, YouTube gear in the car, and it's not my cell phone. I record with this camera. So absolutely nonstop. It will drive me crazy when I see sometimes drivers, like, I don't know if you ladies get it, that you get like, you're dropping off an order and somebody else too is, like a DoorDash and an Uber at the same time. And it just, they have their car on and I'm like, oh no. I can't, I'm not against people that do it. I'm all for it. Do whatever makes you happy. But for me, I'm like, no.
I am fortunate enough my car has push button start, major security. So even if my car is running, if I have the key in my pocket and I get within 6 feet of the car, it automatically locks down. Even if somebody got in the car, they're not going to be able to shift it into gear. It will my car automatically locks. It has plenty of security. So a lot of times I do leave it running, but that's just because the way it's set up. Years ago, Chinese food, and the driver came to bring me my food, and a car had followed him. As soon as he came up the stairs, somebody jumped in his car and hauled butt. So if I didn't have the car I did, I would probably lock it, turn it off. But I'm fortunate enough I can leave it on. Nobody can do anything with it as long as the key's in my pocket.
Sarah, do you have a tip to keep yourself safe?
I just always stay aware of my surroundings 100% of the time.
Oh, this is a good tip for you guys, because I know like Uber, Lyft, DoorDash, they say you can't have a gun, knife, even a taser. I saw on one stream that somebody had gotten deactivated for having a taser. But there's nothing against having oven cleaner. And let me tell you that oven cleaner, if sprayed in somebody's eyes, is no matter.
It sounds painful already.
I was gonna say I
They
don't
do that with perfume, and I'm like, ah.
Right.
Oven cleaner. That's all I can tell you. I keep it in my house. It works better than mace, pepper spray. You're gonna burn their eyes out. Oven cleaner.
I mean, I'm of the opinion that my life is more important than my livelihood. So I'm going to carry whatever I want to carry in my car. And if I get deactivated, I get deactivated.
Yep.
But I have heard of people being very creative with the weapons that they carry because they're not technically weapons. Like I've heard of people carrying scissors, and I've heard of the wrench that you were talking about, Maglite flashlights, like the really heavy flashlights. For me as a woman, I'm not trying to get into a physical altercation. I'm just trying to create enough space between me and the assailant so that I can get away, because I can't fight. I'm not built to fight, so I just want to get away.
Easy off.
She's still going
Now,
with it.
now that Lady D brought up easy off, your price just went up to 2 C notes instead of 1 C note.
Jay's writing this down.
Oh my gosh.
Lisa's gonna go buy oven cleaner tomorrow.
I'm telling you.
No, here's one thing too. For people, if you're carrying mace or anything, if you're getting the spray that just sprays out, you're going to get it too. You want either the gel, or another thing you can do. Home Depot sells those spray bottles, and those things are amazing. Like, you can get the stream where it'll shoot out a stream 15, 20 feet. So if you get enough in there, and it can look like glass cleaner or something like that, but that stream will stay direct on. And like I said, you can get 15, 20 feet range on that. So Home Depot spray bottles are good too.
Does anybody else feel like interviewing Chris as much as I do right now? Like, Chris, what have you been through, my friend?
I guess we'll have to talk another time, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk another time, yeah.
One other thing is have a dash cam. If you're doing rideshare, have a dash cam.
Yes.
The one that records inside the vehicle and outside the vehicle and has the night vision.
Yes, ma'am.
Document everything, because I've been deactivated from Uber because of false accusations, and the only thing that saved me was that I documented everything. So
Jay is too cute. Y'all should have an Amazon link for the oven cleaner. Jay, I'm not adding that. But that is cute. I love it.
oh my gosh. All right, Kim, what is your tip for keeping yourself safe while delivering food?
It was the same as Ash's. I take my keys everywhere. Like, there's no way I ever leave my car running. Not only that, but your keys can be a weapon in your hand. So, you know, people don't really think about that too much, but it's multi-purposeful. But most of all, protect yourself. Money is never worth the risk of your life. So at any cost, if you ever don't feel safe, just get out. Just leave, get out, do whatever you need to do to stay safe.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you'll be notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.